such a fun group. And I want to tell you how lucky I was because this morning I made it in a second of the webinar starting because I got stuck in the snow in Julian. In San Diego County, I was stuck in the snow. I couldn't we couldn't get the snow off the window shield, and we found a little kid's shovel and we wiped it off, and then we tried to get in the car and the doors were stuck, and then we turned on the engine and the battery was dead. Are you getting how lucky you guys are? And then, you know, we're at 4,500 feet. That's where the snow was. So I started down my 3-mile, very zigzaggy, very treacherous road full of ice. And I get below the snow level. I'm all happy. I'm going, oh, thank you, thank you. I can get there now. And all of a sudden, the whole roof of snow melted and fell on my windshield. I had about this much room to peek out, but anyhow, I made it. And I made it this evening, and so did all of you. And I can't wait to show you this quilt because I think it's so much fun. You ready? Yay! Cool. You know how you always want to have like a go-to quilt? Something that's so fast and fun, and as soon as you get that baby announcement and it's the next day, they knew they were going to have it for 9 months, but you get it the next day, right? This is one you can do. You ready? Okay, we have so many cute ones. And this is Teresa, and this is Ellie. You're going to hold them? Ellie and I have been doing Helen Keller. Is that cute? Very, very cute. It's adorable. Well, Teresa did this one. This was just like leftovers from a jelly roll, a 2.5-inch jelly roll. And you always have leftovers, right? So she made 4 really cute blocks. And then we're going to do the lesson on prairie points. Teresa made these cute little prairie points, and we all said they were too little. So they only got to end up in that little quilt. Is that cute? Yes. And buttons, she said. Maybe we could sell some buttons. We better put those out there so you can sell, huh? Yeah, show them. All right, so cool. So this one I did finish in Julian. Wow, is that cool? Is that unusual for me? Yes. Does it even look like I did that? I went to Martha and I said, Martha, do you have a jelly roll? And she said, yep, I've got this one. There's only 20 strips in it. I said, perfect, because you can make 2 blocks per strip. Maybe it had more. 2 blocks per strip, and that's all that I had. I just thought it was so cool. I did it in Julian. I found a little bit of blue. Couldn't find any borders, so now I'm into borderless quilts. But I love the back on it. You know what? And there were some jelly rolls. We should ask Faith if we still have these jelly rolls. Okay, Faith, look on your counter and see. Show her do you have that one? Wait, you better show it again. Zoe. Yeah. If you like that one, you could have one just like it. All right, ready to see the next one? We doing good? Yes. Okay. Okay, just sell it. Yeah. Oh, you like this one? Teresa is going modern. Oh, okay, so I'm going to teach 2 sizes of blocks today. This is the 2.5-inch jelly roll strip. It's 7.5 finished size. This is the 1.5-inch jelly roll, and that little block finishes at 3.5. So there's going to be 2 sizes of jelly rolls, and Teresa just wanted to get modern, blend the 2, and then just wrap it all up with this nice fat rickrack. Cute? And use the same color for the binding. It's very, very pretty, isn't it? And you should show the back. Oh. You're just in too much of a hurry. Look how cute that is. And the white thread, she used 2 colors of thread. You can see the pattern of that block. and then in the white thread, the small one again. And because it's the water wheel, did I even tell you that name? It was the water wheel? It's the water wheel. So since it's water, and does it remind you of waves, the quilter made wave marks, wave quilting, going down the side. The water wheel. Very, very cute. You like that one? Turn it around. Okay, does this mean turn it around? This means turn it around. Take the picture. Hello. Really fun. Black, white, and red. Okay, ready to see the next one?
I'll do it later.
Ooh, yeah, you can do it all later. Martha did this one. Martha is our kit cutter, and we're so surprised. Aw, isn't that cool? So these are the little 3.5-inch blocks, all out of a 1.5-inch wide jelly roll. Hand-dyed fabrics. This little jelly roll makes this size quilt. Isn't it cute? Very, very pretty. And she did all of the colors of the rainbow. She grouped them together in colorways. I think it was easy that way too, don't you think? If you kind of put all the colors that go together. And then the long arm quilter used variegated thread in all of the same colors so you could just see it going down along in the binding. And you better show this way because I don't think Claudia can even see it. Can you see, Claudia? Yeah, we have to show those people over there. Okay, so now show them, and you guys go, ooh, ooh, and let's get it going here. Wake up. Isn't that cute? All right, so let me see, is this Patty's? Okay, Patty is here, my student. This is a big, my sister. I said my student. My sister. This is a big night. Build it up. Because this is my new fabric line. You ready? Oops. Turn on your mic. Do I have my mic on? I'm nice and loud, huh?
You're on? Am I on?
Okay, hurry, run. Turn her on. Okay, you get over there so you can see. Are you ready? This is called the anticipation. Ready? Is she on?
Just show the quilt, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Is that pretty? You love it, and now show over there.
This is
and look at this way.
the new Eleanor Burns fabric.
Yay! But the truth is, Patty Nagel and Orion Burns did most of the work. I just gave them my name to use. That's all they wanted was my name. Get it?
Yep.
Isn't that pretty?
Yes.
Forever love.
It's very romantic.
That's sweet. Forever love.
And Kylie named it. Her favorite word, this is Orion told me, her favorite word is love. And then I guess, did you just put the forever with it? Or how did?
Remember it was granddaughter's garden or anyway.
So, forever love. But isn't that a nice name for this?
Forever love.
It's very romantic. It looks like Eleanor Burns with the flowers.
Oh,
And-
it's also Forget Me Not.
Yeah.
I thought this might be Eleanor's last line.
Oh,
It sounds like the end of it. Forget me
but anyway.
Well, Betty Crocker lives on.
And that's how it became Forever.
Oh, forever. Okay. So
Sounds like they're getting rid of me.
I went into Quilting a Day. And Teresa had all these pieces cut. And I kept looking at them, and I kept thinking, I really want to make this quilt, but what fabric do I want to use? And I kept thinking about that fabric, And Teresa, I walked in one day and she said, Teresa, take this fabric and make, and I was so excited. I sewed the entire day. I could not stop because it is so fast. And the fabric is the nicest quality. If you get a chance, you got to touch it because it's really good quality.
It's silky, Phil.
It's
it almost
silky.
feels silky. It's really nice.
But they forgot that one color. Did you notice? Yeah. I know.
Where's the purple?
But it has every single color of the rainbow.
Purple wouldn't go in
No,
it.
purple doesn't belong here.
Just been lovely.
Well, what I really like, what?
An encore.
I know.
With lavender.
We did that before. We
Yes,
did an
we did.
encore.
Forever loved you.
And we did a green, yellow, purple the
Yeah.
next year. So
Yeah.
you never know. We might go forever and ever.
So explain your quilt. Betty Crocker. Okay, come on, tell about your colors.
Okay, so this was easy to lay out the colors. Just like if you look at a color wheel, you see the colors and they're lined up on the diagonal, go from red and then orange to pink to yellow to green, blue-green, and then blue. And then a couple surprises. I love Eleanor's description. For example, all this red, isn't it more exciting with a little touch of green? Because the green and red are complements and they intensify one another. And then down here, the blue is more exciting with a little touch of red. It just adds some sparkle to it. And then around the outside edge, those colors, as Eleanor wrote in her description, the prairie points march around the outside, and I can just hear them marching with music. And again, it's so easy to line up the colors in gradation. For me, it's easier, I confess. I thought it was too hard to do it that way. Have you ever worked with all the colors and you have to lay them out and balance the colors
And
and
move
you
them around.
stand back and you move them around? Well, this is easier. That's why I did it.
That's really cool. And
Okay.
show the quilting on the back
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's
it's really
very
pretty.
nice. In the water wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Daisies.
It's
Oh my
daisies.
goodness,
Yeah.
daisies. So
And now you can see my mistake. I put the binding on the wrong side. I was tired, the sleeve. I was tired, I put it on the wrong side. So then I had to put it on
were
the
all
other
tired.
side. I know.
very nice.
Now, yeah,
So
you
it-
can hang it either way.
So you can tell everybody you were here the night we showed it, right?
You're
And
the first.
earlier today, we said it's not available yet, but somebody suggested we took pre-orders, and I think that's a great idea, don't you? Yes. I think so. We'll just step up. Okay, so that was good. Now, oh, this is one I did. This was fun. Oh, isn't it cute? It is one of our lines of fabric. I did cut the 2.5-inch strips from yardage. When you do one 2.5-inch strip for the 7.5-inch block, you get 2 blocks. And so if you look at this one, that's why there's always 2 identical blocks. It just comes from one strip of fabric. And then I thought it would be really fun to put the 7.5-inch square in the corners. So I added 2 borders. This is a 2.5-inch and this is a 6. So the 2 of them sewn together equal 7.5 inches, or actually 8, so you could put it with the 7.5-inch finished size block. And it makes it really easy. Mary Jo did this and she put big feathers and multicolored thread around the outside edge. Just little simple, you can see daisies and lots of motion inside each one of the water wheels. But it is really fast. And in on the back, I think the rejects. So I love that orange as the binding. Is it cute? Yes. Okay, and this one is mine too, and it totally does not look like mine, but I did it. Wow. I did 3 quilts for this. I was really excited just because I enjoyed them so much. So this is my inspiration piece, and from this inspiration, there was a stripe, and I love the little black and turquoise. This one is one of my favorites. The white, I almost thought I shouldn't stick it in there, but it is. It adds a nice element. And then a little check that's one of the same colors, the green check. And these almost look like moose antlers. What do you think? A moose antler? Can you see it? Yeah. I can see it in a lot of wind. So in the corner.
I liked the line that you said that you shopped from your garage.
I'm shopping from my garage. I am.
Fabric from a garage.
I did. I'm like, okay, use it up. And when I shop in it's like a discovery. You have to realize I have been putting stuff in my garage for the last 40 years. Do you think I remember what I put in there 20 years ago? It is an adventure. But right in the corner, this is the second size of the block. This is the little 3.5-inch block. I had to put in my inspiration fabric. And then the black border is the same. It's 4 inches wide, so it fits in. And Mary Jo put lots of feathers going right along there.
I think you've seen it in the no,
Yeah.
maybe not.
But I did find this piece of fabric in our back room. So the block is just so much fun, you just can't stop. You can't stop. It's like eating peanuts. You know how it is. So come and join me back here. I know this side can't even see this quilt, but this is the one that Teresa did. It's called Calico Country, and it's perfect calicos. This is from Riley Blake. It's a 24-strip jelly roll, 24 strips. And so Teresa used almost every one of them. And if you look and see, you can always see the second one from the strip. Small prints, there's little cherries, little plaids, writing on one of the blocks. And it looks like typewriter and then cross stitch, little circles, very, very cute. And then for the outside, we did prairie points from 5-inch squares. We had hoped that we could do little 2.5-inch squares. Those were the first ones Ellie showed you. They were too little. So what do you think about the 5-inch ones? The 5? They look proportionate, yeah. But the little block is just so fun. You just set it together, make it simple, and just select one background and then the binding. And it's so easy. I love to use a jelly roll because the designer of the fabric already put everything together. All you need to do is buy the jelly roll, huh? So this is the one from Riley Blake. Calico Days. I called it Calico Country. Calico Days. And so you just take it and you just start out and just quilt all day. So much fun. All right. So, sound like fun? Jelly rolls. So I just want you to take a look at this book. Margarita Ickes was the woman who named this water wheel. And it's like, man, who is Margarita Ickes? Do you guys ever remember hearing about her? Well, she has this great book called The Standard Book of Quilt Making and Collecting. And she is just one of those old-time quilters, and it's even on sale still on Amazon. It's all black and white photos. She teaches you how to draft and all of these things, other uses for quilting. Very interesting, and you will never guess. The copyright date is 1949. Yeah, it's still, well, I don't think it's still in print, but there are copies available. But I did see that Dover Publications did print one too. Dover, you guys know Dover, right? But it just said it's a very interesting, clever book, and so I decided to sit and read it. It is interesting, but I just wonder, how come I have to put color in my books? And she did hers in black and white, and she got away with it. But look at that. Just how to, she's got her pattern here, and I guess this is Storm at Sea. Oh, I want to turn the page and see. And more quilts. So anyhow, it's a fun book. You can go ahead and look it up and find it. All right, are you ready to look at your pattern? Or this. We got a cool thing. I need the white fabric. Ooh. So this is right on page 2. The wedge. Something new. Look at this. The wedge. Ooh. 2 sizes of wedges on it. The outside part of the ruler is what you use to cut your wedges for your 2.5-inch strips. And then the little lines drawn right on here. Do you see the black line? It says this is the 1.5-inch strip. And there's a second one for the 1.5 strip. It's in white, and it's a little hard to see. But can you see that little line there? So, what are we going to do with it, huh? All right, cool. So, let's go through the book. On page 3 is the Calico Days. And then there's Teresa's. She called it Touch of Modern. We should have said that. Touch of Modern on page 6 and 7. And look at Martha's on 8. Rainbow, Forever Love is on 9. And finally, we get to cutting with the wedge. And you're not going to believe this. There's right-handed cutting and there's left-handed cutting. Whoa, where's all those lefties? Huh? Lefties? How many lefties do we have? Do you appreciate that? Yeah. Cool. Okay. So you can cut through 5 or 6 layers of strips, and Teresa's going to just press them out for me really quick, and just press in the middle. You need to open them out full and right side up. You have to do that with all of them so you get all the same. If you would cut them folded, you would get mirror image pieces, and it doesn't work. Trust Teresa, right? It doesn't work if you don't open it up. And Sue didn't open it up either her first time. So open the mouth full and press the strip. These are so pretty. These are Calico Days. Look how cute that one is. It's got little strawberries on it and little flowers. This is from Riley Blake in Utah. I know some of you ladies are already using Riley Blake, but we really enjoy the line. Teresa and I talked to them at Road to California. Okay, one more. So the book says you can stack up 5. I said 6. That was just, I said 6 because if you have a jelly roll with 24 layers in it, 6 is divisible into 24 how many times? 4. So that then you only have to do 4 of these stacks. So it cuts really quick. But then Teresa said 5 because she was thinking with 20 jelly roll strips. So 20 times 20 divided by 5 is how many layers again? 4. Okay, so we're going to start on the left edge. I'm a right-handed person. I'm starting on the left edge, and I'm just going to take and turn my wedge backwards, trim off my salvage, and get rid of it. Now swing the wedge around, get it all lined up on there. This is all designed for easy cutting. And swing it again. And now this time, you just cut on the straight. Okay, is that cool? Just swing it, baby. And you just keep on going right across. You need 4 wedges per block. So whenever I cut this fourth one, then I'm just going to put this aside and we'll finish cutting that later, okay? We'll let Teresa show you how to cut it left-handed. Okay, so then on the right, it shows you, do you want to do the left-handed cutting right now? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'm going to take, and I'm going to take off one of these. Oh, should we do the pink? Because the pink, oh, I want to make pink. Okay, Teresa, I'm going to slide over, and you're going to come right here, and you're going to show them how to cut left-handed.
So this is the end of hers, so all I'm going to do, turn it over, okay? Make sure that left-handed, it says to turn your strip upside down.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I need to get closer to you for your microphone.
Okay.
And she's so funny.
Just talk right here.
But I need to cut.
Hello, Teresa.
I need to cut from the right
Oh.
side.
We always do it difficult. Okay.
Okay, so
So you are trimming the salvage.
I trim off the salvage.
Uh-huh.
Then the most important thing for left-handed is your strips are upside down and your wedge is upside down, okay? And you can even see the letters or the numbers there upside down, okay? So
Yeah,
that's
the
good
words
part.
in the printed
Mhm.
pattern.
And now that's exactly the same thing that Eleanor was doing, but from left to right. And I'm doing it from right to left, and that's it. And you can compare them with yours if you want to.
Yeah, you always learn from your mistakes.
Yes, I have
And
a
we
pile.
didn't want to have the lefties make theirs look like it was all backwards, and then they were afraid they're going to have to take it all apart. Okay, there is Teresa's, and here is mine.
And they're the same.
And they're the same. Ooh, got it. Look how fast you can cut these. And all I did was count out 4 and get rid of the salvage. I love to cut those. That's why I had so many in my garage. I love to cut them. Okay, so now at the bottom of all, we're going to we'll do the little ones afterwards, but cutting triangles is at the bottom of page 13. Okay? If you would go to the bottom of page 13. Okay. Oh, my strips are all right side up. Good job. So I really like to turn all of the strips right side up because they're white on white. They're really hard to see. So these are all right side up. These are for my 7.5-inch blocks. There's a little chart right there on page 13. It says what size are the background strips? 6.5. And now it says to cut squares, and obviously the size of the square is 6.5. Okay, do you see if you're just doing the little guys, the little 3.5-inch blocks, what size strips do you need? 3.5, and you're going to cut that into 3.5-inch squares as well. Okay, so you cut your squares, and now turn the page. Beep. Okay, number 3. It says layer cut squares on both diagonals. So what I like to do is take the diagonal line of my ruler, line it up on my left edge, and then I can just do one cut and then just go ahead and turn it. You don't let your squares fall apart. And you do another diagonal line, and they are all right side up. Yes! Okay, so I'm going to tell you a trick they told me this morning. I said I can hardly tell. These are all white on white, and it's so hard, and you see me all the time. I take off my glasses, and look, one of the ladies this morning said, all you do is lay them on your pants, and suddenly you will see which is the right side And which is the wrong side? Oh, that's worth the price of admission, isn't it? Cool. Okay, so you want to get those all just stacked up. Make one stack. Is that right, Claudia? Yep. All right. So I'm just going to follow the book now. It says you make single stacks. You've got all of the wedges, and then you just take this and you line it up like that. I'm on page 14, right at 1 and 2. Is that right? Okay, now the reason that we've done it this way, I've done it this way, is so when you flip the triangle, right sides together, all you have to focus on is this straight edge at the top. You don't have to worry about how much tip hangs out. Just let everything hang out, okay? Doesn't matter if it's all lined up or not. You just let it hang out on the bottom because we're going to square this up later, all right? So I need my chair. And since I have 4 wedges, I'm just going to make one block. And Patty said earlier, how long did you say it took you to do these? 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
I just kept thinking it's only like, it seems like 10 minutes. And then I timed myself and I made 20 minutes I made 2 blocks.
Isn't that fun? So the reason I called it your go-to block is because sometimes, you know, for a long time it was toss 9 patch. Everybody was doing toss 9 patch, toss, because it was so simple and so easy. But now, I don't know, I love this one. It's really fun. So just flip it right sides together. You just do assembly line. So is your iron hot, Teresa? Okay, the pressing is very important. And really, the pressing is really just how it comes off of your sewing machine. If you don't keep on turning it around, but look at the picture, do exactly what it says, and be consistent. You can't switch in the middle. It won't work. Was working with a group of ladies, and one lady said she wanted to do it that way, and I just said, well, okay, you want to do it? Okay. Didn't fit in. Okay, so examine your picture. I've got, it happened again.
Really?
Yeah. It's magic. Oh no, I completely sewed on nothing. I mean, I sewed on the triangle. There's a little bit of gap here. We're gonna have to that's all we had to do. We gotta watch that. The machine eats the pieces. Okay, so Teresa, you're gonna be ready. Okay, so now what I want you to do is take your pieces when they're turned down. I'm at the top of page 15. You see that's the picture, and the point is pointing to your right. Can you see that? You don't quite see the point, but anyhow, point your point to the right. Ugh. Figure that one out. Okay, so ooh, I saw our cutting gizmo.
Oh.
You have to get out our cutting gizmo. Okay, so you set the seam and you open it up and press the seam towards the triangle. Cool.
That extra one missing.
Yeah, there's one that has nothing under it, nothing right sides together. Okay, so we got it. Did I do cutting gizmo last time?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I've gotten to the place where I'm so lost without it now. I keep on looking for it. Cool, huh? Okay, so let's just stack these all up. So now I'm sewing pairs together. I have 4 of them. So I'm just going to make 2 stacks like that. Whoops, that one. That one is the goofy one, like that. All right? So that's half. Perfect? Now you flip it right sides together. Once again, you just line it up straight at the top. There is a seam, but it's going down. No seams to fight. You're supposed to cheer for that. Cheer for it, cheer for it. Woohoo! That makes me excited. All right, step on the gas. And it doesn't quite matter if they're not lined up at the bottom or if the white triangle is not perfectly lined up either, because we're going to square it all up in just a minute. No tips to cut off. Yes. Okay, so now once again, you're going to look at the pressing instructions. Very important. Did I make the press say something about the pressing instructions in bold? So now you have to turn the page again. And once again, you're pointing to the right. Can you see that? You're pointing to the right. Set the seam, open it up. I like this. This is so easy. Okay, cut it apart. Remember, you have a whole row of those things together. Now, we're going to just lay one half and the other. Ooh, that was fast. So when you're going to match it right here in the center. When you flip it, because of the way you've been pressing, this top seam automatically lays up and the underneath seam automatically lays down. And you just lock it together. See, when you do stuff like that, it goes really fast. I hate fighting seams. My gosh. You know, and somebody asked me how long have I been in loading my garage. I just figured out it is 40 years for me, because I started when Orion was just like 1 year old. He was I'd already started in 76, teaching in 76. So you were still pretty young. 76, that makes it 40, right?
But you have to own the house to fill the garage.
Well, at that time we were living in San Juan Capistrano. And I'd already started filling the garage in San Juan. And then we moved down to Carlsbad. All right, so now comes the famous swirling. I know you guys can do it in your sleep. You just put your thumb right here. And I'm going to change my words because I've just kind of been picking. I put my stiletto underneath and just pick up my threads, and that's good. And then you just turn it over. This one is not quite so easy because I've got a loop right here, and lots of red. Okay, and just pick out those stitches. Doo-doo. Okay, and I'm gonna take both of the ends and just kind of give a pretty hearty open. Because when you open it pretty good, you already start to open that seam up. And so now it's clockwise. 12 goes to the right, 3 down. Here is 6, and 6 is when it all happens. And 9 goes up, so that opens up into such a cute little 4-patch, and you just mush it. So now you just press. All their seams going right around. Is that nice? Yes. They're smiling, Teresa. Cool. Okay, so push it around. And this is really useful for this nice turnable from Olfa. And a 9.5-inch triangle square up ruler is the perfect ruler to use. Boy, look how nice and neat everything looks. Aren't you excited? I am. Okay, so when you square up, did I do something wrong? Okay, what size have I been telling you we're going to square this to? 8. So the 8 divided by 2 in half, 8 divided in half is So you put number 4 right at the center, okay? And you line up your diagonal lines right along. There's 4. 1 is always in the upper right corner. And 8, this is unbelievable. Right here is 8. And then you want to go over here to the other corner. And this looks like a mite. I have to do a little tweaking over here. So I'm just going to tweak with my ruler. That means to push the seam right under 8. All right? So now I have 8 here. I have on the line here and 8 here. So I've got 2 sides ready. When you're working with a square up ruler, you trim up on the right and across the top. Okay? And so you don't even have to pick up the patch, but just give it a spin. I'll leave it like I was, okay? So, whoops, one more. Okay, now 8 goes right down here. 8 goes right over here. Oh man, that looks good. 8 and right up here. I'm gonna, see how it's not quite on that diagonal? I'm just gonna tweak it until it is. That's a new word, tweak. Very okay, there it is. And there it is right there. Perfect, except I gotta tweak that down a little bit. All right, it's good. Hold it down. Right and across the top. Ta-da! Woohoo! What do you think? Is that cute? Very, very cute. And so when you look at the back side, everything lays nice and flat. And so now we have a whole stack here. This is what the really, really cool thing is. I'm going to give this to Teresa to lay out on the board. But when you swirl your seams and you put them right next to each other, when you flip these right sides together, this locks here because this is going down, that's going up. And the same thing down here, this is going down and that's going up. So when you sew them together, everything is going to lock perfect. So doesn't that make it easy? This is really becoming a go-to, huh? So this is all the Country Days little blocks that we've been making. This one is so cute because there it says Friday, Saturday. Little kid, little girl with her dog. That's very cute. This one says, what does it say? Saturday. It says today, and numbers on it. Little plaids, little geometric, adorable. Okay, so you get to put that up, and let's just take all of this. So the block is easy, huh? It's very, very fun. So how about let's go back to how to cut a 1.5 inch strip, all right? Oh, okay. I'll let you guys focus on her. She is putting it up backwards so you can see how those seams lock together. So she's kind of smiling to herself. So see how the seams all go and lock together. Okay. Now you gonna flip them? Yes. Flip them. The one fun thing, all of the colors are so good together. Yeah, so then if you put them on right side up. And so what's really fun, as I said, I just used a lot of ends of jelly rolls, but I bought some new ones too. It was really fun. Now see, like that yellow, probably it would be better if it were moved a little further away, don't you think? Maybe too close. Yeah, not two of those the same color. Yeah, move them away, spread them out, mix them up.
But you make more blocks.
Okay, I'll make more blocks. I'll stay up all night. I'll stay up all night. Okay, so let's just take a look at the little ones. We did the 7.5 inch blocks. Let's do the 3.5 inch blocks. So once again, these strips have to go right side up all of them. And so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and cut it in half. Put this one right side up and this one right side up. When you do these little guys, you can get 3 whole blocks and part of the 4th block out of one long strip. That's not bad. That's really cool. Okay, so I just have 2 of them. Once again, you can do 5 or 6 layers, but you want to focus on the little lines on the ruler. Let me see. I do have a little bit of white here. Okay, can you see this black line? And then can you see the little white line? It's hard, it'll show up on the fabric. Okay, so I'm right-handed, so I'm just going to go ahead, just like I did on the other one. Just turn your ruler backwards and just straighten, trim off your selvage. Turn the wedge and line it up. I'm right-handed. You got to salvage. You can do it, right?
No, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't think
Okay, so there's the one little wedge. Okay, and now it's kind of crazy how you're going to do the other cut. You have to turn your wedge and line up the white line and then cut it, okay? And turn it again. It's just almost, you just have to say, turn it again almost every time. And then turn it again. Line up the white line on this second one. Okay, how's that? Does that look good? Okay, so you can go a whole strip. And now Teresa is the left-handed person, so she's going to come and do it left-handed. Ta-da!
so. You cut the strip in half, huh?
I did.
Okay.
Just
So she cut her strip in half. And put right side up, right?
I put mine right side up, but you're left. You're a lefty, so what are you going to
it's
do?
the same thing that we did earlier. Your strips is upside down, and so is your ruler, okay? Your ruler also gonna go upside down, okay? And
Okay, now remember you were doing this because she's going to go like this.
go in front of you, just like Eleanor was going in front of her. Because if I don't do that, then I have to go against me, you see?
And that doesn't work.
There you go. That's the ruler upside down. And then flip your ruler to line it up.
Still the
with
white
line.
one now again.
You see it?
And then
There.
turn it over and cut it up. It kind of maybe it kind of like doesn't look like much, but you have to feel it. You just get to feel it and see.
Then you can come
And
here.
they're all cut
This is-
the same. Yay!
See? That's hers, okay?
Uh-huh. Okay, and there's just one more thing that I want to show you. Patty taught me this one. And if you want to cut real quick, you can go ahead and cut your strips. Scraps. This is a great way to do a scrappy quilt. 1.5 by 5.5. 2 of those, you'll get 1 3.5-inch finished size block. Ah, doesn't that sound fun? So there are 3 different blocks here. 3 different blocks, 3 different colors. So you just stack it up like that. I'm in the middle of page 13. And I am just going to take my, let me see, it's got upside down. I'm going to take and put the 1.5-inch strip line from the black and lay it out like that. And just cut. And now separate. And they're exactly the same size. So Is that cool? See, now Patty tried to tell me this, and I said, I don't get what you're talking about. On the phone. And she got frustrated with me. Okay, fine, Elle, you can tell me later. Okay, so I can't lay it out without sewing it together, but I think I've almost have it. What do you think? There. I bet you that's right, huh? That's from 4 to 5.5-inch strips. The little triangles were 3.5 inches square, cut on both diagonals. It's exactly the same sewing technique that I just did on the big block, but you can just put it like this. And isn't that cute? Very cute. Sew it together. Ta-da! That looks good. And the little spinning on the back. So now it's really good. We kind of all talk. Teresa, Sue, Patty, and I, and as usual, I don't always get everything. So Teresa and I agreed that the best way to, I nearly said screw it up, but we're not going to screw it up. The best way to square it up is with the 6-inch square up ruler. So if we're going to square this to 4 inches, half of 4 is, so 2 would go right in the middle, right? And I'm thinking this is really cool. Look at that. So I have 2 of them. We can just go ahead and do it. So you can just put the 2 in the middle, put the diagonal line, put 4 there, put 4 right up here. Trim 2 sides. Take the turnable and turn the turnable. Don't even pick up the ruler. And now put 4 along the outside edge. Put 2 in the middle, diagonal line. Ta-da! And I'm thinking, this is really cool. Look how good that looks. Good? Until Patty comes charging out of the back and says, doo-doo-doo-doo, I have another ruler for you. And this one I think works even better. It's from our package. It's called the 4-inch trim star ruler. If you're going to make hundreds of these, I would use this ruler. This is from when we did Mary Ann's star in All-Star Quilts, and we packaged this little trim star because there's an X on the trim star. The outside edge is 4 inches. Sounding good, huh? So just put it right on there, drop it right on. Ooh, doesn't that look good? Yeah. So now I know if I ever get a little jelly roll like Martha had, because you can just put it in there, on there in place, and then you just trim 2 sides and then just spin it around without picking anything up and cutting it again. Ta-da! Isn't that easier? Yes. So now you have 2 rulers to get. And where would that be at? And where would that be at? Yes. Hi, Andy. Andy is our accountant. He wants all of you guys to run out and buy at least 2 rulers. Maybe 4, huh? But anyhow, that is a really fun block to do. Really, really fun. So if you want to do the quilt that Teresa had, the modern one. What? Okay, let's look at it. Page 6. Okay, do you have your strips with you?
You're talking about these little things.
Yeah, on page 6, Touch of Modern, it shows how you have the little 4-inch block. You have to build that up to 8 inches. So it's very easy. You just take 2.5-inch by 4 strips on 2 opposite sides. Flip them right sides together. Sew them down. put them back, press towards the background, and then you just have 2 more strips, 2.5 inches by 8 inches, and you just add that on, and that will be the same size as your larger block. Ooh, is that easy? Is that easy? Yes. That is easy. Oh, Teresa, look at all these things we have to sew together tonight. We can't go to bed till these are all sewn together. These are adorable. I have to do a little Quilts of Valor for Mary Ann Fawns. I think no bigger than 30 inches. Don't you think that'll be cute? That'll be perfect. What a start. You gave me a start. All right. So now we have Patty's turn, and she is going to show you how to do the prairie points. And they are the very last 2 pages of the book. I think this little book turned out so nice.
It's
really
beautiful.
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 And you're mic'd?
I am. I think it's on. I pushed the button, and I think it's on. He better check.
Okay, check it.
Okay.
So you can start.
Okay. So, prairie points. You've all seen these before, and
How many of you have ever done prairie points? I'm curious. 1, 2. Oh, just about the whole class. Okay, fine. We could go home.
Okay, so
For Claudia.
this is my 3rd class today. I did the morning. I had a class in San Diego.
You
And
did?
then, I went to Kathy Green's, and then I'm back here, and I got a really good suggestion. They suggested a charm pack.
Yeah.
These, you probably knew that already.
But they do need a lot of charm packs because there's this really cool chart on page 22 that tells you how many 5-inch squares you need. 1 charm pack would do a crib. Aren't there usually 4 5-inch squares in a charm pack? 40. What did I say? 4. 40.
And
40. So you
And-
could do a crib with 1 charm pack, but then look, multiply the rest of them. 2 for left. Good idea.
Or get a layer cake. Isn't that what you used on this quilt, Teresa? A layer cake? We have the yardage. Well, that's even better. Okay.
But you could cut a layer cake into 4 5-inch.
Yes. Okay.
Good.
So, 5-inch square, press on the diagonal, fold in half again, and then you see this edge is a raw edge, this side is open, this side has a folded edge. And what we're going to start with a 2.5-inch, this is the first border, and I'm going to turn it so as though we were sewing. You always have to kind of face it just like this. And we're going to start with the prairie points. It tells me, for example, if I'm doing this quilt, the lap size, I need 17 prairie points for the length on each side. And then across the top, how many? Are you 11? Okay.
Isn't that an amazing chart?
I know. You're so smart. Well, Teresa, we
figured it
we
out.
did it together.
Teresa said you need 2 prairie points per block. So no matter what size you make, but then you have to add 1 more for the top and the bottom.
Yeah, one includes top and bottom. Oh, and I forgot to mark it. Okay, so
Ooh,
once you do your second press, take this cute little ruler. It says Eleanor Burns. She signed every one of them. And you just measure
5,000.
in, 5,000. How long did that take?
And these could be really a collector's item someday.
They're great, yeah. And she did such a good job. They're all identical. I noticed
Yeah.
that. Okay, and then go 1 inch from the open edge, and then just put a little mark in the seam allowance. Not too big, because these are all going to overlap by 1 inch. And the first thing you want to do is keep in mind that we're going to be sewing in this direction, and you want to always have the open end at the bottom. But before you start sewing, you want to plan your colors and plan the fit. If I have 17 prairie points, before I start sewing, you don't want to get to the end and you don't have room or too much room. So if you just plan it first, overlap each one at that 1 inch mark, and once you get to the end, if they just don't fit, you can make adjustments. And then once they're all perfect fit, then go ahead, and I put a pin in the center. Oh, you could use these lovely Quilt in a Day pins. Or
Oh, these!
I brought my junky pins because I thought they're so big you'd see them, but these are sharper. And
They are. And
they really
longer.
are.
They're
the best pins.
They are the best. I can't use any others. I toss them.
I do too.
I save those for on the design walls.
Okay, so if you just pin the center of each one, and also notice at the top how that first prairie point goes right into the corner. And then you can do a 1/8 inch seam, go all the way from the top to the bottom, and then we'll take our next border let's get rid of that. Okay.
When I was with her, that's what she did. We've done a couple of like comedy routines. They weren't supposed to be, but they turned out to be.
People ask me if I can throw, and then I have to show them I can do it.
Is that it?
Yeah. Okay. And here you can see the second border, 4.5 inches wide. Just put it on top and stitch. This time use a 1/4 inch seam. And I do lengthen the stitch. There's a lot of bulk in there. Put it on number 3 stitch length, and I use the needle down because you sometimes have to stop and position your little points. And then once this is stitched, then we'll turn the entire row of points toward the second border, and the seam allowance will fall under the first row, the first border. So that's do one side, and then you do the opposite side. Same thing, the whole length. Add your second
One
border.
side and the other side.
Thank you, Vanna.
I'm
Okay.
useful. I'm useful.
Okay, and then we're ready to do the top and bottom. And so we're going to, again, turn the blocks as though you're facing it. And we're going to be sewing in this direction. So remember that open end is at the bottom. And you can just go ahead and line them up. Now I learned something today when I went to class. I was describing this as nesting. Nestling. And then they told me they had another word. They call it a marriage.
Oh, marriage.
Or
the two.
cuddling.
Cuddle the two.
Cuddle the prairie points
Whoa.
together. Yeah.
Now the
So-
strippers are cuddling.
They're cuddling.
Woohoo!
The little points are cuddling.
Yes,
Oh,
forever
yes.
love.
Right. Okay.
A lot of
And-
men watch this show, you know.
Whoops. Oh, that's a no-no. We don't want to put the same fabric twice. Let's switch that one. Okay. Okay. And then I did sew this last one down because I wanted you to see exactly how they meet in the corner. This last prairie point kind of overlaps the opposite row. And a good way to find out if you did it correctly, you can go ahead and return this to the original position, and you see how they line up side by side. And then we need one more border, which
One more border. I cut it up.
don't
I'm
have.
so
Oh, you cut
sorry.
it up?
This is all you get.
Okay. That works. Okay, let's just pretend. Our
It's
second
longer.
border. Oh no! What happened?
Quilt fell.
Oh no!
That was creepy.
I wanted to pin it, but I
Okay, so we'll do the 4.5-inch border the whole way down, and then let's see if this will turn out. We'll just turn the row to the outside border. Oh, and see how they meet in the corner. Pretty good. Okay,
Very good.
thank you.
Very
Okay.
good.
Thank
I think
you.
it adds a lot. It's really fun, to finish it off. And if you send it out to the long arm quilter, just remember this is not going to get in her way. She can just quilt from the center and the first border. And then when she wants to do the second border, all she has to do is just flip that out of the way. And it's not going to get in the way. And it's kind of cool because the way Mary Jo did this, her quilting is kind of like in between the prairie point, so she doesn't have to lift up anything. So it works. And a lot of the long arm quilters talk about doing a stitch in the ditch along here to keep that secure, laying it down, or just like an 1/8 of an inch from that seam right across there, just so it keeps that little prairie point in the same direction. I love it. It's so cute. All right, so how did we
Wow.
do? Is it going to be your
Good.
next go-to quilt? Just think how fun and how fast you can do it. Enjoy it. It's so much fun.